All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the S&P Sports Show on this June 14th, 2023. Now that the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup is over, and both teams like the Nuggets and the Golden Knights won their first championship. So congratulations to them. My host, Mr. Anthony Paulus. And then tomorrow is the U.S. Open. I can't believe it's the U.S. Open tomorrow. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, golf is already here, and it's really hard to believe. I mean, it's kind of a crazy week considering the whole PGA live situation and the merger last week, and now this is like the first big event. And actually, technically, I can guess you can see it's the kind of the first event. I don't know. I mean, last week was kind of but this is the first major thing. So, I mean, at this point, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we've already talked about it. Who are the favorites to go into this weekend? Who knows? Rory, Brooks, Morikawa. I mean, there's a hopeless array of people. Whoever was going to win this thing, the golf course is going to probably suit more to their favor. So that's the biggest question.
Matter of fact, let me look at the odds. Let me do that. Because I know with the player props, it's gonna be on round one. So just let people know about that. So by the time we do the player props, it's gonna be only for round one. So just letting people know that for the update. US Open odds. Because they should tell me. See, it is Scotty Schaefer 6-1.
Well, he's like the number one ranked guy.
And then the sleeper is Patrick Reed 80-1. Because they say he's been playing well because this year he's so far this year with top 20s at both the Masters and the PGA Championship. So that's kind of impressive.
Well, we'll see about tomorrow. I mean, I think the bigger news is just the whole live and PGA meshing at this event and the merger and all of that stuff. I mean, the event is the event. It's the US Open. It's one of the four majors.
Exactly. A very big deal.
It is what it is.
All right, so what we're going to talk about first, even though I said the NBA Finals over Monday and then Stanley Cup over yesterday, and the draft won't be.
Well, let's talk NBA first. I said it was going to go 6 games. Said Denver was going to win it. They win 5. I mean, it could have gone 6 if a couple bounces here and there. I mean, that game was. I mean, besides like the 2 of the 4 wins by Denver were close, and 2 of them were big enough blowouts, I guess, if you want to say. But I mean, it's not like Miami wasn't in it at the end.
Right.
I mean, this thing could have gone 6. This thing could have been a sweep, if Denver didn't trick at the end of game 2. So, I mean, in a way, it is what it is. So, Denver was the favorite. They had the more talented team, the deeper bench. They were more built. They had the best player in the league right now. Should have been the league MVP again. They need to just snatch that trophy from Joel Embiid and just bring it back. Okay. I mean, honestly, they just gave Embiid that trophy, I think, because the Joker won the previous two, and it was kind of like a pity award, so they didn't want to give him a third one, you know? I mean,
right. You know how the voters are.
Denver had a better record than Philadelphia during the regular season. Better overall team. Embiid just I just think he's one of those guys that just can't get you there. You know, he doesn't step up for that occasion. Do you know what I'm saying? Some guys just have it.
Like when it's like a really big game.
Giannis, Joker, LeBron, Steph, you know, I think, you know, in this era, LeBron, you know, in his heyday, yeah. But now it's like Joker, Giannis. I'd like to see what Luka Doncic could do if he actually had a team around him. No offense, Dallas is just running and gunning, no defense. It's like a bunch of guards, a bunch of undersized bigs, and that's it.
It's not good enough.
I think the real question is can Denver build off of this and build a dynasty? They got the most talented team top to bottom.
And plus they're young.
They're young. They can build in this draft. I think they've got a draft pick now, or is it next year? They made a trade during the NBA Finals with Oklahoma
State. I could check for you.
Their salary cap wise, they're pretty set. Joker's locked in for a bit. This team is built for a little bit of a run, I think.
And look right now.
Denver can build itself into a dynasty here. As Coach Malone said, you've won a championship. Now you need to build yourself for a dynasty. Can this team win multiple titles? I think it can. You got the best big man in the game, and you've got talent around him. It wouldn't hurt to get another star caliber player on the outside, because obviously you got the inside on lock.
Okay, I did check. So this year they do have a draft pick. It's in the second round.
Yeah,
from Dallas.
So I think that trade they made was for Oklahoma City's picks in 2024. They swapped 24 and 29 picks, but they did make a trade during the draft. So
they're ready.
Can this team contend for a while? I think they can. The West is strong, but what's out there in the West right now that's going to stop them? Golden State, if they could get a rebuild in one more time, I don't know if that's going to involve Klay Thompson and Draymond Green.
Right.
The age. Klay Thompson's never going to be the guy I think he was again. The injuries of, him and Chris Middleton are kind of like two peas in a pod. Injured, not quite the same.
Right.
I don't know.
That's a very great question.
But they can definitely go on a title run here. That's the question.
Right. And what type of shooter will Golden State get in a draft? Because I'm pretty sure they're looking for a new person.
I think Golden State needs, Kevon Looney is, it's for Golden State. Kevon Looney, I believe, is a free agent. They're going to need somebody in the interior, that can rebound. Unless they can re-sign him, they're going to need somebody on the inside. They need another big, and they need They need another guard because, I mean, they got Jordan Poole. That's great, but, they kind of lost a little bit of that defensive presence when they lost Andre Iguodala.
And Mike
I
Brown.
mean, yeah, they won the title the previous year, but they lost a little bit of that edge on defense.
Right. And I feel like since Mike Brown left the coach of Sacramento, they wasn't the same team like they was when they won
Exactly.
that title.
I think the Kings have majorly improved, and I think Coach Brown not being there has weakened that a little bit. I mean, I personally think that the Kings are going to be around for a bit, I think.
I was getting ready to say
I'm not going to say that they're going to be title contenders,
but they're up there as
exactly.
contending. Because they used to be trash. I mean, major trash. Like from DeMarcus Cousins to just like, and you couldn't even know who played at Sacramento during those years when they didn't make it to the playoffs, except for DeMarcus Cousins. And what's his name? Tyreek. What's that? He was rookie of the year. I can't think of his name. Tyreek. Oh my god. He was rookie of the year. It was Tyreek something. I can't think of his name. It'll pop in my head.
And who? Fireburden from Indiana?
No, his name was Tyreek. I think it was Tyreek Hill. Not Tyreek Hill. It'll pop in my head.
For the Kings?
Yeah. For the Kings.
Tyreek Evans?
I think Tyreek Evans. I think he was rookie of the year. But not right now. I'm talking about like
long time ago.
Exactly. That's what I mean by that. Let me look it up. Because I remember it was just DeMarcus Cousins. Where was that? It'll pop in my head, but go ahead.
Well, anyways, I mean, the Kings are going to be around for a while. And with some smart drafting and some smart free agency, they can be around for a while. They've got good players and they're deep, but they don't have a true star.
Exactly. And that's the biggest issue with them. It was Tyreek Evans. That was Tyreek Evans that was rookie of the year. 2009, 2010. I knew it was Tyreek, but I was like, who was it? Tyreek? It was Tyreek Evans. And we don't even know what the Lakers are going to do because they really need to start all over. Especially they're trying to get some draft picks.
I mean, the Kings will be there for a bit.
And more likely they'll probably get some more being on TV the upcoming NBA season when they build the draft or get somebody in free agency. Because nobody ever expected the Kings to ever be like that, especially in the earlier season, I will admit.
I mean, what else do you have in the West? You got the Kings, you got Denver.
Golden State.
Like I mean, Phoenix has proved that they can't win. I mean, unless they get unless they can get Damon Lillard, but they got to trade Iden. I mean,
right?
They can't win
because you definitely need they definitely need a point guard. Because Portland looks like they're about to rebuild.
Portland isn't rebuilding. Portland needs to do something now. Either they need to build something around Dame Lillard like this season, right? And they're going to probably trade the their third pick in the draft for some type of veteran player. They can't wait anymore. This is either trade Damian Lillard and go through a true rebuild or build around him this season. Re-sign Jeremy Grant and then go trade for another veteran and pony up. I mean, Damian Lillard's like 32 years old. He had 32 points this year. You can't keep waiting until he's like 36.
Great. Right. Or like Zion Williamson. Well, just give an example. But he's injury prone. But that's a different story. But
I mean that's the route I would work on.
Because yeah, Portland used to be contended, but now all of a sudden they just like. Because not too long ago they was in the Western Conference Finals along with Golden State.
I mean,
let me look at it right now.
I mean, the West is the West. Simple as that. As for the East,
it's so wide open.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean,
exactly. It's like, very wide open.
Like Milwaukee just underachieved and choked. Boston, I don't know if they're gonna keep that tandem alive or they're gonna split it up or what. Philadelphia, you got to give something more around Joel Embiid. They don't have enough to that core. Right. And the rest of you got Miami, who's super talented, but then they just are so mediocre during the regular season.
They need some more pieces.
I mean, Jimmy Butler's a stud, and when the outside shooting is going, it's great, right? But,
right.
I mean, and they did this run mostly without Tyler Harrow. So, I mean, it is what it is.
I think right now, if I look at Boston, they're probably going to break that team up and find out and they also and they can't keep Al Horford. I'm sorry, he's okay, but as far as like a big man, it's like you don't know what type of performance he's going to have.
I mean, at this point, it's I don't even know what to think of the East. I mean, unless somebody makes a bold move for something on draft night or something or in free agency, right now that's how the East is.
Right. Or like, I don't know what the Knicks is going to do during the offseason.
The Knicks got money. Question is, can they get somebody else to come and join Jalen Brunson? That's the question. And will they trade Julius Randle?
That would be a hard pill to swallow for some Knicks fans.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about the NHL.
Yep, it happened last
night. I said it was going to happen in 5. Sure enough, it happened in 5. What did I say? As soon as it got the 3, if it got the 3-1, I said the other team was going to fold, and boy, did they just fold and roll over last night, giving up 9 goals. I mean, question now is the West. As I talked about in the last show, the expansion is what it is. The expansion teams got favorites, them in Seattle. That's why it only took Vegas 6 years to win a title, and they made the finals in the second season. Now the question is, what is Las Vegas going to do after that in terms of keeping that momentum and keeping that roster tight? Florida, hell of a run, but they overachieved just like the Heat. They overachieved. It's ironic that both Miami, I guess, based teams, Both folded in 5 in the finals.
That's pretty amazing.
But I mean, it's a testament to the Heat and to the Panthers that they both made it to the finals. I mean, the Florida overachieved. They were the 8th seed, and they beat the team with the best overall record and the team that had the most points ever in an NHL regular season. That Boston team was stacked. But in a 7-game playoffs, it's much different than in a 1-game regular season. And that showed itself during the playoffs, not only in the NBA, but in the NHL. And I think it's much tougher playoff road in the NHL to get through there than it is in the NBA because, there's a lot more parity in hockey. And, as we've seen, lower seeded teams can make their way through and do damage in the NHL. I'm not saying the 8th seed's going to win the title, but damn,
Right.
it's not like we've seen 8 seeds before make it to the finals in the NHL.
It happened before.
And we've seen 8 seeds do work in the playoffs.
And that was because I watched the game on TNT because I know TNT, TBS, True TV, they broadcast the game since Turner Network broadcast the Stanley Cup. And they're going to do the same thing with the Final Four. Even though Jim Nance is not going to do it anymore. And I saw John Tapper. I know John Tapper. He's really happy that the Golden Knights won. He's very happy.
Yeah,
so
I
fans
mean,
in Vegas like super happy.
I mean, at this point, it is what it is.
Right.
I mean, as for the NHL, what do we got upcoming? You got free agency. We got the draft coming up here on June 28th. The Blackhawks are going to draft Eric Bedard. Will the Red Wings do something? Are they going to sit there at 9 or are they going to make a move maybe with Columbus? Because the Red Wings have 2 first-round draft picks in this draft. Will the Red Wings maybe be able to trade up to the 3rd pick or the 2nd pick and make a trade and get somebody like Adam Fantilli? I mean, obviously the Blackhawks aren't going to trade Eric Bedard, but that 2nd pick could be, the Ducks or the Columbus Jackets could be willing to trade that pick. What that cost is, I don't know. I mean, I could see the Red Wings trading 9 and 17 and moving up if the right guy was there, but I think if they were going to make that kind of trade, it would probably be like 9 and 17 for 3. I mean, you're not going to move up unless it's for probably one of the top 2 or 3 guys. And obviously you're not going to get the generational player, so you're going to need, somebody more like pick 3. And rumor is Columbus could be willing to shop that pick if that right guy is there. But, I mean, we'll see. We shall see. So that'll be interesting. That's for sure. And time will tell.
That's right.
So, hockey season's over, but it's not over because we've got free agency and the draft coming up. So, looking forward to that. Over the weekend, we had the Champions League final, and Manchester City beat Inter Milan in a game that was a lot tighter than I thought it would be. 1-0, but they completed their treble. That's pretty hard to do, to win the treble. Winning your league, winning your cup, the FA Cup or whatever your domestic cup is, right? And winning the Champions League. Winning all three in the same season is very hard, and it hasn't been done since Barcelona did it in 2009.
Whew.
And Manchester United did it like 1999. I think somebody did it in like 1992. So It's pretty hard to do. It's something that kind of happens about like once about like every 10 years.
10 years.
But you got to put together a star team. A stud team. Let me tell you, in soccer, Manchester City this season, the salaries alone for their players was about $1.24 billion. Salaries.
Oh, you said B
with a B. I mean, the Oakland A's are spending like $25 million on their roster, but hey, they've won 6 in a row.
Exactly.
And they swept the Brewers.
Right.
They won 6 in a row. I mean, if you're a Brewers fan, you got to feel pretty crappy that you let the A's sweep you.
Like a lowest payroll team.
At home. You got swept at home by the A's. That's pretty bad. That is not good.
Exactly, especially with the lowest payroll team.
I mean, the A's were like on track for, for like worse than the 62 Mets.
The expansion Mets.
They were on pace for worse than that, but now that they've gone on this miracle 6-game winning streak
in a tough AL West.
I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs,
right?
But,
just saying.
But
in a crappy stadium.
Well, they'll hopefully be out of there in like 2 years.
So that's going to make Oakland not to have any professional teams. The rest of them are going to be in San Francisco.
Well, what else do they have left in Oakland? Well,
nothing.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean
the Warriors moved back to San Francisco. The Raiders moved to Las Vegas.
There's really not a whole heck of a lot left.
That is really sad. And if they did have professional, probably like a lower tier professional team in Oakland.
I mean,
I feel bad for Oakland.
I mean, for such a large media market, but people out there, they just don't give a damn.
And they lost 3 of their pro sports teams in just 5 years.
They just do not give a damn.
And shoot. And Reggie Jackson was so angry about Oakland for losing all their teams. I don't blame him. And California's expensive.
Yeah, California's expensive, and I'm not going to say Oakland's the most, affluent area.
Right. I mean, there's some great areas over there in Oakland because people look at San Francisco more than Oakland.
I just don't see it. No. I mean, here's the thing with the A's. I think their owner might be in some money issues because the company he owns, the stock is way down.
Ooh.
I don't know, like, if this move doesn't happen to Vegas with him, I think he's going to be forced to sell that team.
Okay.
And then the question is,
Who's going to buy
Is
it?
Oakland back in play? Because, I mean, that deal for Oakland and that stadium, I mean, it was pretty close to happening. And it's like they pulled away. So I don't know what's happening with that. I mean, it's crazy to think. But, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Right. Because it was, like you said, at one point they was going to have a new stadium, but for some odd reason, it stopped.
I mean, it's just hard with Oakland. I mean, the dynamics of that city.
And then with the taxes and stuff over there, and it's like it's hard for you. Hardly ever you can get a new stadium unless you're like Los Angeles or San Francisco. Well, at least Sacramento Kings they did get their new stadium because at one point they was going to move, but it was like nope, we're going to get a new stadium. So at least they got their new stadium.
I mean, I just don't see a big stadium or anything coming to Oakland. I mean, there's no real college that plays there to share
Right.
that. It's not like San Diego where they built Snapdragon Stadium, right? And you've got San Diego State playing there, and and you have the MLS team that's going to be playing there.
Oh, that's a bonus. I did not know that. Because I thought they just had the Padres and the Aztecs. I did not know they was going to have an MLS team.
Yeah, they're getting an MLS team in San Diego. So they'll be playing at Snapdragon Stadium and sharing that with the San Diego State Aztecs. And so San Diego's fine sports-wise. They've got the Aztecs, doing the football. They've got Aztecs basketball, which is the rage in San Diego. And they got the MLS franchise. They're good. They'll be fine. There's more than enough to do in San Diego. It's a beautiful town. It's just, I equate San Diego to like the whole Florida thing. There's just too much to do.
Right.
And when those type of places like
Especially
Tampa, Miami, San Diego, Phoenix, too much to do. Like they can support NBA, right? Like Phoenix, they support NBA. That was done in the 60s. The baseball thing, they got spring training, so it's tough to support baseball a little bit in there. But the hockey thing, it's too transplanted down there. It's like Atlanta. Right. It's too hot. It's too transplanted. But
and there's a lot of stuff
Atlanta
to do.
is, no offense when I'm going to say this, there's a lot of black people in Atlanta. No offense. Brothers ain't really feeling hockey. Okay? Maybe you are, Shawn, but tell me, okay? I mean, are the brothers in Atlanta going to be supporting hockey other than
not
rocking
like that
jerseys?
Not like that.
I mean, no offense. It's not going to happen.
Because the only thing that's great about Atlanta,
bring hockey back to Atlanta, they'd have to build that arena in the burbs.
I was getting ready to say that. Because the only thing that's great about Atlanta is their sports.
Like by where the Braves are at.
Right.
They might be able to do that. Because it's just not going to work in downtown Atlanta. It's just not. Just like, they're Orlando's pitching this thing to Major League Baseball about building a $2 billion stadium and having it interconnected with Disney and having, no offense, there's too much to do in Orlando.
Exactly.
Too much to do. Just, Vegas is different. People will fly to Vegas and see their teams in Vegas and go and gamble. It's adult. Orlando, you're bringing the kiddies. They don't give
Disney
a damn
World.
about the Orlando Dreamers.
Right.
They care more about
Disney World,
riding on the teacups. seeing Cinderella and Mickey Mouse. They don't care that the Orlando Dreamers are playing the Las Vegas Athletics at Dreamers Stadium inside Disney Park.
They were like, man, forget it.
No. And Florida gets enough baseball with spring training. Okay.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay doesn't support worth crap. Miami, that stadium that they built, they can't draw worth crap. Then you want to build another stadium for Orlando people so they can't draw worth crap? Hell no. No. No, no, no.
No.
You want to go get a team, go put one in Nashville. Okay? Nashville would support it. Big market.
Right.
The public in the community seems like to finance stadiums. Look what they did with the Tennessee Titans. They just financed like a $2 billion stadium for them.
Yeah.
Sure, they would do the same for baseball.
Right. And a minor league
they
baseball
support
team.
hockey. They see, here's the thing in Nashville. Okay. Vanderbilt, great college, but they suck at sports.
Right.
The football team sucks.
Right.
Basketball usually sucks.
They're more of an academic.
The only thing that they usually have good at Vanderbilt is baseball and the debate team. That's it. Okay. So there's the sports teams suck at Vanderbilt. So they're all behind the Nashville Predators. You know, they're behind the Titans now. They'd be behind the baseball team. So Nashville's fine for a team, for a baseball team. Okay? And if the Tampa Bay Rays can't get Tampa figured out, you can always move to Nashville. But if they decide to expand 2 teams and go to 32 teams in baseball, I mean, Nashville's got to be an ideal candidate for expansion. Right. And then you'd probably need one other city. Like I said, I don't think you can build it in Charlotte. You'd ruin the Carolina League.
Right.
So what does that leave you?
Vegas and Nashville.
I mean, Birmingham, I don't think can support a major league team. But speaking of Birmingham, in 2024, they're not doing the Field of Dreams game because they're renovating that area. But what they're doing is they're doing an NBL tribute. So the Cardinals and Giants are playing in Birmingham at the stadium that the NBL teams used to play at back in the day. So it's the Giants because Willie Mays played in Birmingham.
Oh, the Negro Baseball League.
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm saying NBL, by the way, because I don't want to get caught saying a word accidentally or something slipping and getting
just
fired.
Like the A's. Just like the A's.
Yes, that's why. That's exactly why I'm saying, Shawn. That's why I'm saying NBL.
And that was a great way to do that.
Shawn, I see you looking at me through the video like
I was being sarcastic.
NBL, like National Basketball League, like
no,
like New Zealand baseball.
Oh hell no!
So anyways, the NBL is what I'm calling it because I don't want to get fired from the S&P Sports Show.
Right.
You know, because we get fat salaries around here. You know. Anyways.
Yeah, you said the Negro Baseball League.
Shawn, I can't say that word, but you can. I'm being comedic here, but at the same time, I'm being smart.
Right.
But
I always look up to the Field of Dreams though every year.
Yes. So in 2024, they're going to take a 1-year break, and then they're going to do the Cardinals and Giants in Birmingham. They also filmed scenes from the Jackie Robinson 42 movie there.
Yeah.
And a couple other baseball movies. So they're going to renovate the stadium up nice for that game and do an NBL tribute, you know, like with Mays, Satchel Paige, you know, all the greats of that, you know, Josh Gibson, you know. So plus there was a Giants team in the NBL. No, I don't know if St. Louis had a team in the NBL, but
let me look that
what
up.
the Cardinals connection is to all of that. I mean, I would have figured like Kansas City because like the Kansas City
Yeah,
Monarchs,
Kansas City had it. Yep.
would have been kind of maybe a more appropriate choice due to that connection, or Atlanta for the Braves. But I don't know if Atlanta had an NBA. So you needed two cities that had, those kind of deep, deep roots.
You said what? You said what city?
Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham did. Birmingham Black Barons.
Because they had, because the other thing is the Homestead Grays are considered like the greatest NBL team of all time, and they were based in Pittsburgh or the Pittsburgh Crawfords. Homestead. So I'm kind of shocked, like, that they didn't go with, more,
And Philadelphia did actually have the Negro League team, the Philadelphia
Pittsburgh,
Stars.
though, is where it was at.
Okay.
But I mean, they did have teams, but I don't know if I can say all these team names. Like Atlanta, their team name, I actually cannot pronounce.
I know. I see it. And you gotta remember, like,
pronounce their team name because
right.
then I'd be called a racist. So
exactly. I see it on my phone. So
like
right.
you have the Birmingham Black Barons, you have the Homestead Grays, right? Kansas City Monarchs, 13 league titles.
Everybody knows.
I don't see a St. Louis connection here in terms of. Let me look here. Philadelphia.
Oh, you're looking it up as well?
There is no St. Louis team. Hilldale Club. I mean, I have no idea where that team is from. Hilldale. Cuban X Giants. I don't know where the Hilldale team is from. Memphis, but there's no baseball team in the Memphis Red Sox. You could have had Boston play in their honor.
Right.
Honestly, for that game, I would have probably had the Giants play Pittsburgh because the Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords won 12 league titles behind them. That are the Kansas City Royals, and they could have played as the Kansas City Monarchs. Now, the only other thing I can think of is I don't know. See, so Birmingham probably has a AAA team. Is right? They have the Birmingham Barons, right?
Correct.
Now,
man, this is. Oh, Alabama baseball.
I mean,
teams.
right? In the thing is that they're the affiliate of the Chicago White Sox.
Damn.
Now they're playing at the old Rickwood Field is where they're doing this. Not at their new stadium, which is Regions Field. Rickwood Field was, I mean, it's still in use, but I mean, it has that vibe. I mean, it's a pretty old school looking, cool stadium. I mean, I'm looking at pictures while we're chatting. The scoreboard looks I mean, they got all the signs in there, like all the old signs. They've got the scoreboard reminds me a lot of Wrigley and Wrigley Field, Fenway, the scoreboard. It's pretty cool.
Oh, like the old school way where, like, if somebody scored,
it's
they
green
put
and they hand sign. Yup. It's pretty cool. Now, I don't know what they're going to do for this game with the Giants and the Cardinals. I just don't see the St. Louis connection. to this game. I understand the Giants connection because like half the teams in the league were almost named the Giants. So I understand that. Okay. I mean, I understand that. But the question is, at this point, is, what's going to happen with the other team? I just don't know if St. Louis was a good choice. The only reason why I think that St. Louis was picked, I mean, San Francisco is kind of far, but they're named the Giants, was because St. Louis is pretty close to Birmingham. And but they didn't have a team in St. Louis. That's the thing that throws me off. I mean, maybe they did, and I mean, or maybe they just had a team that never won a ship. I mean, I'm looking. The St. Louis Stars played for St. Louis in like the 20s and 30s. It looks like.
Right. And let's not forget, in their era, it was newspapers. I don't think they even had a network television to broadcast those games.
So it looks like what happened with the St. Louis team looks like they moved. It looks like they were around till about the early 40s and moved to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And also, they were originally like the Indianapolis ABCs.
Okay.
So, I mean, not much of a history for St. Louis. I mean, I think Kansas City would have been in a more appropriate choice for the game. But I understand the Giants because of the Willie Mays connection to Birmingham.
Right.
So, I think that's the route to go with that. I mean, other than that, quick USFL thing. So the Panthers choked again.
Right. Philadelphia
they have one
lost.
game remaining. Luckily, the Philadelphia Stars lost. So, but they lost to Pittsburgh. The Panthers. So technically, the Panthers are in third place right now in the division. So they're going to need a little help over this weekend.
That's correct.
So let's go over the Panthers. What do they need to do, or what do they need to happen in week 10, the final week of the season in the USFL, for them to make the playoffs? Well, this is what they need. Okay?
All right.
The Panthers need to beat the Philadelphia Stars. Okay? Then what they need to happen, okay, is they need the New Jersey Generals to beat the Pittsburgh Maulers this weekend. Both of those things have to happen. Now, they may not even be able to get in because now I'm looking here. The Generals beat them once. Let me look at the second game here.
Okay.
I do not know if the Panthers can mathematically. They may be eliminated unless the Generals and Maulers tie.
Which is highly unlikable. Likely.
Because the Generals are technically in second place because right now because they split their season series with the Maulers, I believe. And let me look at the general schedule because here's the thing,
Get ready to
right?
do that. Right.
If the Generals beat the Maulers in both games, and when the Generals played the Panthers, they scored more points than the Panthers did in those games. So they beat them once. They play them this weekend. So here's the thing.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
The Panthers are toast. The season's done. Unless a miracle tie happens and then they win. Pittsburgh and New Jersey had the tiebreakers.
That's right.
They had the divisional tiebreaker and the head-to-head. So guess what? Season's over.
Over, basically.
Unless a tie happens.
Right. Because that's different.
The Panthers season is over. They're going to be – let's look at week 10 here. They're going to be mathematically eliminated probably by 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern on Saturday.
Okay. Right.
So that game Sunday night is more or less for Philadelphia.
Because that South is very tough.
Now, Sunday, let me look at the standings over here because the South is a little bit more
interesting.
I mean, way more interesting. I mean, if Birmingham beats Memphis on Sunday and Houston beats New Orleans on Sunday, then New Orleans, Houston, and Birmingham all get in. Memphis, who's currently technically last, would be eliminated. You're going to get 3 teams regardless from the South, okay?
Right.
3 teams from the South are guaranteed to get in. Okay?
All right.
It's just a matter of which teams, 2 out of the 3 teams, New Orleans, Houston, Memphis, 2 out of the 3 of those teams are getting in. We just don't know which ones.
Exactly, because it's so tight, because the division's so tight.
Exactly. But the Panthers, barring a general, if the Maulers and the
Generals
don't tie, their season's over. So, Shawn, enjoy the food on Sunday night.
Sunday, exactly. On Father's Day.
Exactly. Enjoy the food. And maybe you'll get to meet the new day.
Exactly. And wait till next year.
Possibly. All right, player props.
All right. Usually we do MLB, but this time we're going to do something different. So this time we're going to do the PGA because tomorrow is the US Open. So new customers can sign up using promo code S4A to get an instant match deposit up to $100. So if you put 100, they give you 100. If you put 50, they give you 50, vice versa. Okay, so now that I got out that way, so the first one is Sergio Garcia, 72 strokes.
I'll take I think he'll go over.
Okay. Next one. It is Justin Rose, 3.5 birdies or better.
Take the under.
All right. Phil Mickelson, 9.5 greens in regulation.
I'll take the over.
Okay. Rory McIlroy. 4 birdies or better.
I'll take the over, but you don't know which Rory you're going to get.
Exactly. And then finally, John Ram, 69 and a half strokes.
Oh, sure, why not?
All right. And if you live in the state of Michigan, we do have a gambling hotline. The number is 1-800-270-7117. In Wisconsin, the number is 1-800-426-2535. And in Ohio, it is 1-800-589-9966. And please gamble responsibly. And also, they have a feature called insurance. So if you were to get 4 out of 5, you will win 2.6 the amount. And if you were to get 3 out of 4, you would get 1.6 the amount. So at least you win some cash. And please, what was I going to say? Please make sure to see which time that the golfer will golf. And the player props we just did is for round 1. So just letting you guys know about that. And I think since it's the U.S. Open, I think NBC got the rights back. It's not on Fox anymore.
Well, we'll see where that goes. That's for sure.
Right. So,
all right, folks. So, see, our season's almost done here, but we're going to do one more show next week, Thursday. Before the draft. Like right before the draft. So we'll call it our NBA draft show. And that's our last show of the season.
So, yeah. So, please be prepared because next week is going to be all NBA draft and see like which trades and such.
So, catch us then, and we'll see you next Thursday. We're off this Thursday, but we'll be preparing for next Thursday's big event. And we'll see where that takes us in terms of the trades, the NBA draft, and that should all work itself out. Also today, one last thing we forgot to talk about is the UEFA Nations League semifinals. Game 1 happened today, and Croatia beat the Netherlands in extra time, 4-2. So they're in the finals, and they'll play either Spain or Italy. Also, tomorrow night, we have Mexico and the United States.
And the concept
playing tomorrow, and Canada and Panama in the other game.
So that's concept, if I'm saying it right. Did I say it right?
So we'll see everybody next Thursday.
Right, because Tuesday there is no show.
No show this Thursday, no show Tuesday, show on Thursday for the draft.
Right. So please be prepared. And if you have any questions, feel free. So thank you very much. Guys, have a nice and wonderful evening. And enjoy the player props. And the player props segment will be on the YouTube.